One ingredient every dictator needs is money, and so I need to focus on my economy. Now, in the last episode, we have actually gained independence out of a small colony. We're now an independent state, and the state needs money. And what I can see right away is that we are missing ingredients. So despite having 2 Teamster offices, and both of them are fully staffed, despite all of this, there's not enough input coming in. So for my rum distillery, it is the sugar, and for my tobacco, it's, well, my cigar factory, it is tobacco. Now, when I check it out though, what I can see over here is that sugar is actually not fully employed. Alright, we're producing sugar, but it's not that much. And then we also have tobacco, some over there. This is though fully employed, and despite all of that, we're not producing enough, so I do need to have more plantations. This area, however, is already fully utilized, right? There's not that much room anymore for the same amount of plantations. So I would like to build me up a new area, and this is the one. Because in here, on the other side of town, we do have a lot of tobacco fertility that we can use here, just behind the mine, really. So I'm just gonna squeeze me in this one here. And then I also want to have one for the sugar, and we do have... Oh, wait a second, where's sugar? There's sugar. We do have a good amount of sugar down here, so we can basically use it like that. We just gotta make sure that we actually keep a bit of space between the plantations so that I can also have some roads in between. This looks fine, and then I could have another one once again with cocoa, as we can see. However, cotton also works quite fine, and cotton it is because there's new industries lurking with cotton, so I would like to use this. Let's build some roads in between, and of course, well, since we have a bit of money and I quickly want to get this going, let's actually just quickly build it. Doesn't really cost me that much. I'm going to have also another few let's make flop houses, like here along the road, right? So where those peeps can live then and work. And by the way, in here we could also squeeze it in, right? Just beside the mine. And after all of this, let's switch once again to multiculture for all of them. This is reducing their efficiency, but it'll be fine. Let's increase the budget. And I think I'm also gonna have a manure spreader for this area. Let's just check it out. There's gonna be more plantations down here for sure. So I would like to keep this one central like so. Yeah, because this way I can also have some plantations then here. Speaking about manure, this one here is loaded almost to the max. And we do have 2 ranches right now working manure, so it should be fine. Oh yeah, this one's actually full, right? We have the capacity for more shit spreaders. Trade route wise, we're fine with a bunch more. I would like to go with a bit of a higher volume here for the rum. That's 10% more coming in. It's still not where I would like to have it, but we're getting there. We can also sell some steel. Let's have a minimum steel trade route for this. One more for the Axis, or for the allies, sorry, would be something. They take sugar, they take oil. Now, as far as I can see, we do have... I need to check this before I'm actually gonna pay the blueprint. Oil deposits, where do we have them? There's one. It's a bit too close to the city, is it? But there is one. Perfect. Let's actually go ahead and get me an oil well. 2,500 we have to pay for it. It's gonna pay off quite nicely soon though. And let's have it right over here. Get me some oil going. And with that, I could theoretically also have this oil trade route here rolling. Let's build this one quickly. And there you go. Increase the budget. Invite the foreign workers. And I could also go with some fracking here. Of course, we want to do this. And we cannot afford it though, because I'm lacking money right now. We got rainfall, that's a rare occasion. And this also leads to fires raging. The cigar factory, holy cow. It is a thunderstorm, Penultimo tells us. And in this case...
I assure you, the palace is in no danger.
Of course not. We should study the bolts though, so for science, conduct reckless experiments. Of course, why not? Regarding the fire station, we have a bit of a problem. I do need it, I don't have the money. It's a rare thing, really. I don't remember the last time that I've seen some thunderstorm that actually causes buildings to catch fire in Tropico. My newly built oil well is also on fire right away. The rain, unfortunately, is not doing anything. And there's the latest freighter coming in. We're in that though again. And this was a nice export. We also finished something along the line, but I will need to spend all my earned money right away on a fire station. And let's build this fire station as centrally as possible, especially where we have the most important industries lurking around. my construction workers immediately begin constructing, getting this one done, and I hope that we have enough workers then to get them on the road. And my shipyard. Seriously, these are my two most expensive buildings I have right now.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Alright, they like it. Let's take the money as a reward. And yeah, let's put priority to high, invite 2 more fire workers, and put it out. That's it. Okay, the thunderstorm is over, but the buildings are still on fire. This one's the highest priority. There they go. What is he doing? Where are you going? That wall is not on fire. That wall. Ah, seriously. There is more fire coming up here now. What's going on? Second firefighter joins, dousing the flames off the walls. And also we lost the plantation to the fire, which is okay, right? Because the plantation is a cheap building. It costs me 1,500? Alright, really? It does cost me that much. Let's rebuild the plantation. The cigar factory has way more hit points though. I'm thinking this is bugged or something because it's been going on for a year now. Why is this fire not going out? They should probably work on their techniques. Okay, now it's out. Thank you very much for this. This took forever. They're on their way to the shipyard now and hopefully... Yeah, this time they're spraying it on the fire. Perhaps it's faster this way. Alright, 4 firefighters were enough. It still took them half a year to get this one back to operation. And unfortunately all the workers fled, so no one is working the shipyard now. This fire here, by the way, caused significant harm to my economy. Simply because it's the cigars and the boats. So it's my 2 most precious goods that we have right now. We should neglect the happiness of my population. So a circus is also one of my goals. And let's just get this one done somewhere. And yeah, probably a bit further outside. Or a bit closer. That's as good a spot as any. In order to save more money, I have to reduce the budget for my bunkhouses and for my flop houses. This is basically the maintenance cost, and that means that I have to pay less for them. However, I'm still keeping, of course, the budgets on the highest for all of my industrial buildings, because of course we want to push out as many goods as possible. It's especially important for the plantations and also for my lumber mill over here. And there's my second one now, logging camp. Let's also get the tree nursery going for this one, to produce as many logs as possible. Finally we have some money rolling in again. This I would like to use to build me the barracks, and building a barrack is pretty cool because it gives you an infantry squad. So up to this point we had a smaller infantry squad in the fort. The barracks provide better weaponry, and the army base would even provide me then with a tank. But of course we're starting a bit smaller, and let's get me that going here. And I'm probably having my buildings somewhere up here, right? So because here it's close between the palace and also then my city. So I'm gonna have me a road here, and here we can have some military buildings then also forming up. With this out of the way, I would like to have a bit of a look at my research, because we got some nice edicts here rolling. Employee of the month is one of them that I would like to get going right away. Since we have enough knowledge points, we can immediately finish this one here. In the World War era, though, we have a bit more interesting ones, like the labor policy, for example. We can decide when, at what age, the Tropican citizens have to work and when they can retire. So let's also get this one on the road. Another one that I like is the martial law right away. So if things getting a bit out of control and I can see that I'm not gonna win the election, we can actually just implement the martial law. This will increase the military spending by quite a bit, and it will though also decrease the liberty and the tourism rating. But let's make sure that there's no elections, so I'm gonna be happy with this one. Now let's have a look at the edicts that we just got. There is an election coming up.
So selfish.
Okay, let's have a speech. We acknowledge that the healthcare is a bit of a problem here. I'm praising the capitalists. No. I'm praising the militarists, and we're blaming no one. That's not a good idea right now. And I'm promising improvements in healthcare, which I also just happened to confirm that there is a problem with that. We're just getting used to the whole dictatorship thing. You know, independence is just a year ago, 2 years ago. So in this case, we need to ramp things up slowly. Another fire, which is not a big deal. Let's go ahead with the edict. That is the employee of the month. Employees of mines and industrial buildings work double shifts as long as this edict is active.
Everyone wants to be paid more.
And I was talking about the cotton plantation earlier on. Now I think it's the right time to also afford me a textile mill. This one processes the cotton then and produces cloth out of that. That is once again something that's quite valuable. So let's also build this one here right beside my tobacco plantation. Now that road system here, would it please allow me to get me this going? It does not. So I need to get rid of this one here again. And hopefully we can then just have the road here. Alright, I will need to get rid of all of this here, in fact. And hope that we can... Okay, we cannot go through that. So I will need to go through here. In a straight line, please. Like so. Only this way we can actually have this road here. And then I cannot go in here anymore. Let's try it again. This time we go with this. This is working now. Alright. And then we just make the connection here. Thank you very much. The barracks have been finished and we're immediately gonna upgrade it with a motorized infantry. Squad deployed by this building use a truck to reach their destination. They don't have to go there by foot anymore. Another Teamster office unfortunately is required. I'm also gonna add another shift to it. And we're also gonna say loose load limits. And look at how busy those roads are getting now in Tropico, as there are a lot of people going back and forth. Now about the rigging of elections. 49% approval rating it is. 37 is down. I think we can win this one. So I'm not gonna take the American way and we're gonna say no, allow to vote freely. Because my elections are never rigged. It's at this point that money's flowing in bigger numbers. That's great to see. So we're at 72,000. And also we won again. This means that we can once again change the constitution now. And of course, yeah, you know, we need more money. Of course, we need to fund the military, so a life's work it is. Citizens, oops, where was it? Citizens are required to start working at the age of 14 and cannot retire. Decreases the average life expectancy by 5 years and decreases the job quality of each workplace by 2. It also decreases the immigration rate by 10%. Also, I think that's it, right? Yeah. That's it. That's a nice new change here. Let's confirm the new constitution and let's hope that my people
Presidente,
will be happy about that. Healthcare happiness is something that I have promised though. So I could, yeah, increase the budget and also the work mode. Regarding industry, I would like to work on the next one, which is the weapon factory. And this one here cost me 9,000 to unlock and then another 18,000 to build. Now, this is a really cool factory that gives you a lot of money. And in that case here, I'm going to have this one once again here in my center, somewhere here. And what we still need for this one though is, because it is processing steel that we have, but it also needs nickel. And nickel is something we don't have yet. Let's go ahead and get my mine going and get me my nickel. And as I can see, we got a nickel deposit out here. A bit far outside perhaps, but it should still work nicely. So let's get this one going right like so. And I'm also going to build those happy bunches here. Also a flop house, of course, where they can reside. Speaking about housing, we do have a lot of people right now with a high school education. They are not so happy with the flop house. So, of course, we're going to move towards dictatorship, but I still need to have support from the elite, and that is then those that have well off or better, which is the apartment, for example. So this one here, let's go ahead and get me this. It's a beautiful, colorful building anyway. Let's have this road here being finished all the way down, and then I can have my apartment next to it, right? Next to the prison? Nah. Fortunately, there's still no way to actually push something in like so, right? Along the street. That would be lovely. So instead, I'm gonna have it here by the clinic. Let's actually keep a bit of a distance and build me the first 2 apartments here. And regarding my city center, is it a city center already? Let's keep a bit of space here actually for a little park area. You know, and around that we can then freely continue building stuff. Let's get over there and let's have this road moving over here probably. This should work out. Like so. Yeah, nice. Because I would also like to start with a bit of a government district here with the customs office as my first one. It's really important because this one is passively increasing the export prices. That is just lovely. It does, however, cost you quite a bit. Let's go ahead and get this one going. And it also doesn't take long for my weapon factory to work. There's a lot of workers here bustling around and producing weapons for us. And boy, weapons sell nicely. Look at that beautiful long list of goods that are being sold at this point, and weapons are also part of them now. And just on time, the customs office has been finished, and this is where we, raise those prices now just a tiny bit. Right, and those people are actually quite wealthy, so I'm also gonna start with, providing some mentions to the Tropican elite, probably a bit further out here. Let's also get cracking on a police station. This is actually really important to control my citizens and also make sure that everybody abides the law. Where should we have this one? Probably a bit more in the center now. Over here then, where more and more buildings appear. And I think with that amount of money on the account, or in the account... let's wait it out a bit more. There you go, 40,000 export. With that amount of money, I would also like to unlock me the bank now, because with that we can generate interest based on the amount of money that we have on the account, in the account. So the more money I have, the more I can make out of this. It's a really cool building, and let's get this one going probably somewhere over here. You know what? Let's actually have it here.
Presidente, your aid is a...
The police in all its glory, and this one here, serve and protect, of course, as much as possible. And let's also have a smaller little park in there to beautify my little center. And there's also our beautiful bank. This will now quickly generate money. Let's also invite some people in. It's the national bank only at the moment. That's about it. And we can already see, based on my income, we're now getting some money in. And this one here is generating now, actually 700 per month at this point, which is just amazing. Because this building just stands there now and generates money for us. We could also use this to quickly have a look at my economy. So here we can see now all the expenses I've had and all the revenue that is coming in. We can also see how many that we have unemployed. Not that many, based on the amount of people that we have, like 400 almost. So what is the biggest expense right now? Wages it is, but these are important really, because they keep my economy flowing. Blueprints, edicts, and hiring people is also quite expensive. What's my best-selling resource? Cigars, rum, and weapon and boats, as expected, that we are making out of it. Local services, rents are also bringing in some money. Quite a bit actually, since my budget for these houses is rather low, but they still have to pay rent, of course. Miscellaneous, refunding of construction, advertisement, that's my radio station or my newspaper agency, and interest rate, there it is, per year, it's also adding up. Let's also build a watchtower. This is now the upgraded version to the guard tower. It has more hit points. We can also discover hidden roles of passerbys. That means if there's someone that is a rebel, for example, we can, reveal them and also immediately arrest them. Let's have a watchtower here in the center. I would also like to have one here in my industry zone somewhere. Right, this is all just a matter of precaution. Those who behave, they have nothing to fear from me. And let's also have one here overlooking my plantation workers. Let's also have a high school. We do need them actually, because I need a lot of industry in the future also with educated citizens in it. And I don't want to import them all the time, which is quite costly. So a high school should do wonder. And let's also just have this one here by the police station, making sure those people behave. And there's a bit of a room in between. I could also just make some green area in it. Next, what we have in store is the military police. Each military building reduces the crime, just like police stations. Employees of military buildings arrest criminals, increases the liberty penalty for each military building by 40%, increases my militarist standing, and increases the conservative standing. Of course, conservatives are also just happy with a state police. And military's demand we have here already. You have a demand, General Rodriguez. Alright. Modernizing the guard towers. Yes. Perfect idea here. Give this guy a promotion, because we can absolutely do this. Upgrading them, and I can do it for all at once. Doesn't cost me that much. Let's get the military standing up further. Now we have a bunch of them too close, so let's move this one a bit further away. Yeah, over here. And I think it's high time to also enact now the military police in Tropico. Got an earthquake! Of course, we're on a volcanic island.
Don't be alarmed.
And Tropico is shaking.
Tremors surely do not herald a big quake.
Strengthen all buildings. Let's hope we didn't lose any building. Doesn't look like it for the moment. 50,000 was my latest export. And with the next export, we're breaching 100,000 on the bank account. Lovely. We shouldn't forget about our main mission that we still have to go to get to the Cold War era, and that is reach the state of alliance with at least one. So I need to also build me some embassies, unfortunately. Can't help it. And in this case here, let's have them up here. Yeah, in my government district, right? I'm gonna start with 2, and we'll just see how many more we'll have to add then over time. Let's actually build one immediately and invite the allies to this one here, and we can also now praise them, and with that get the relationship up here.
Good job there, President.
Oh nice, that was easy.
Thanks awfully.
And we are already allied with the allies now.
Busy with exciting adventures, hey? Everyone has to do that.
Okay, next demand is though that we need to finish now sabotage access, and for this we need our commando garrison. Something I wanted to build anyway, because we need to, well, get more heists done, and this one is just the right building for it. Looks a bit ominous. And let's have this one also a bit further outside, perhaps. Somewhere over here. It's still shaking. And there it is. My top secret commando bunker. And this one here, let's increase the budget for it right away. High school education it is. Once again, we still don't have enough for that. And yeah, we can now go ahead with, once again, some sabotage. So my pirate cove is doing the treasure huntings, and my commando garrison can now do the sabotage. And of course, it's the access that we need to finish 4 times. Still no weapon export route, unfortunately, but look at that, toys! I'm a happy president after all, so producing toys is probably right within the means of my power. And as you can see, there's 8,000 planks waiting in the shipyard, so either we build a second shipyard for even more boats than before, or, I'm actually going to go ahead and get me a, you name it, toy workshop. This is processing planks and whatnot into toys, making the world laugh again. Yeah, by the mine, I think that is fitting. Let's build it immediately. Get the budget up, invite some workers, and efficiency increase with the TAAS toys as a service. And let's also get the wooden toys going, I think. Oh, it processes logs, not planks. We could also go with cotton, rubber, and rubber later on. Alright, logs it is. That means though that I can probably have still a second shipyard rolling because we have too many planks. Here in my harbor area. And out here we got the logs. I think I'm just gonna go ahead with another logging industry right now. So we have them rolling. There's room for another one. And let's also have the right amount of bunkhouses then close by. Here just by the ruins. Those 2. And work mode should be tree nursery upgrade is there. Take and give. Yes, that's also the right. At this point I also have a lot of buildings that will require power at some point, so working on my first power plant is something I can do to stop producing electricity. 18,000 initial cost for the very first one. Quite expensive that is. And where should we have it? That's my logging industry. I'm probably gonna have it here in the mining industry, but further outside. Yeah, here by the plantation. Let's have the first one. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need a substation too, so that we can actually distribute the power then through the whole city, but we need to wait for this one here to be constructed first. This will consume coal, and we have our coal mine over here. Not producing a lot, is it? Yes, profit protocol. Let's go ahead. And in fact, you know what? Let's actually enable this one for all the mines. And in this case here, this produces more, but having a second coal mine shouldn't hurt us. Depending on where it is. It's too far away. We could also import coal, honestly.
Only if Tropico can win the war.
It shouldn't be that expensive to import some coal. Okay, the smugglers actually want 64% increase in price. That's too much. Let's just wait it out. This is the best one I've seen so far. Rum, 85%. The Axis. Are they in the middle of losing the war right now and they need that much alcohol to make up for it? Holy cow, that's a price increase. Usually you see these price increases only for the cheap agricultural goods. For rum, I might even say it's a bark, I think. But this one would lead to a total bonus of $133,000 if I keep the maximum volume of this one. And of course, there's no reason to ever get rid of this contract here, except when we push to the next era. So I'm gonna keep this one active now indefinitely. There's also a weapons increase now. Let's also push this one up, and a toys increase. Yeah, let's go with the smaller one and purchase another trade license for 10,000. There you go. We could even purchase another trade license. Let's do this and get me nothing, because we don't have any other deals right now. There's my power plant. Let's increase the budget for this one, and we should also be seeing now our overlay. There it is. All right, so this is where we have electricity right now. A substation greatly increases that. So if I build it here, you know, we have then the whole city covered with electricity. One main problem I have right now is that it still takes a lot of time to get people from one place to the other, right? Because they're walking. Most of them are walking around, and this is reducing the amount of goods that I produce. Until we research the substation or the subway system, there's not that much I can do about that. Parking decks are one step, but we also have this very nice edict here, free wheels. Even poor citizens can use cars now. The capitalists don't like this, the communists like this, and it costs me 1,000 per month. That's a lot of money. We'll just say it should make up though for the fact that we can then have people and workers faster at their workplace, thus they're producing more. That is my whole idea here right now, so hopefully this makes up for it. It will increase though the traffic. Alright, we got another election rolling.
How they are ruled. So selfish.
It's not a good time. Why do we need an election anyway? First time that I'm thinking about this, honestly, as a Presidente. Why do we need elections? 2,600 toys were just exported with one. Sounds like a lot. Okay, we just finished the toys trade at 70,000 export that was. What to do with all that money? Cigars, yeah, we are selling a lot of this. And cloth. My power plant is working now. Oh, there's a plane landing here. I don't even have a cargo plane, so it's actually just coming from the ocean. Taking a lot of stuff with it, hopefully. Hopefully it can actually take off again after this. That's the power now, so we have a balance of 450 megawatt right now. And I can, for example, now use this in my lumber camp or lumber mill to get me the power saw in, right? This upgrade increases the efficiency of this building by 30%. However, it requires 10 megawatt of power. That's really not a lot when you consider that we're producing 450 and this is 10. With power comes responsibility. Yeah, the need to educate my citizens. And for that, we have the radio station now. The radio station, yeah, broadcasts propaganda affecting workers at their workplaces. And we got a lot of workplaces here in the area. So I'm definitely going to have this one right next to my newspaper agency. Of course, every president needs a president club. And in this case here, we can have it a bit further outside, perhaps. We could have it up here. Right across the palace. Actually, that is too close. I should probably have my own road going up there into the Presidente Club. This is where we meet and greet all the wealthy ones. Perhaps they also pay us something for it. With so much money, of course, I also want to afford my own tanks. Let's go ahead and get me an army base going. This is huge, this building, so let's also have it a bit further here in the back. It will still need, though, its own road. If I place it here, can we have a road there? Yes, very nice. It's nicely protected, by the way, by the mountains. And of course, my Tropicans, they watch Channel 1. It slightly increases the approval of citizens employed in the vicinity of the radio station. Decreases the liberty, however, by 30. That is actually quite a bit, but who cares about liberty when you can be happy? Yep, I think... Oh no, now it's taking off. Took it quite some time. I already thought it was stuck. Because it took so much with it. Oh, this is not good, actually. There's a financial crisis right now. That means doubles all the money costs, halves all trade prices, halves all brokered conversion rates, and all the facts last for 1 year. Alright, we lose half our income, and we shouldn't probably build anything in this time period. Second shift now cost me 5,000. Alright, for this one, let's actually make an exception, because I want to get that next Teamster office rolling immediately. El Presidente's club has been finished. It's a beauty. And in this case here, we can now have fake charity events. Oh, that's also doubled, it seems. Alright, I'm gonna wait on that before I implement massage and fake charity events. What we do instead is we can invite club members already. And of course, the militarists will join me right away. They're gonna be very happy about this. And I could also say, who should actually join? I think the communists, we are in line with a lot of things right now. I also like this one here, Bells to Bullets Edict. Decreases the efficiency of all religious buildings by 20%. However, it increases the hit points and the damage of military squads by 10%. And yeah, we were basically smelting the bells and put them into weapons and armors. And I like this one a lot. Let's go ahead. Bells to Bullets.
Whoa. It's tough on everyone, but especially tough on the army when there isn't enough metal to make bullet casings.
Exactly. The church is not happy with this, and they want me to build another church. Of course, we need more metal, so a church provides the metal, and let's actually build a proper one, a big one, and it also makes people a bit happier about the whole, believing thing. And let's just have them somewhere here in the center. Gold has also been finished as my next trade route. We're not getting... Oh, we're getting a lot of money in fact. 55,000. That was nice. Oh, okay. The new contracts, though, are affected by the financial crisis, as a lot of prices are down right now. I'm actually gonna wait until it's over before I get another trade route going. Alright, this is also drilling constraints, another negative event. Earthquakes, in fact, have made our mining shafts a bit unstable, and the construction of tunnels is prohibited for now and locks 25% of worker slots of each mine, automated mine, oil bag, and oil rig, so I cannot do anything with them for a while.
I knew I could count on you to do the
Yeah,
right.
she's happy with it. That we built a church here. And by the way, that church, let's give it a nice park there in the back of it. As Tropico is in fact growing, I think we can survive the financial crisis. It's over. Very nice. And yeah, so far so good. You know, we're making it a bit tighter step by step, increasing our military spending, increasing our army, having the tanks now rolling. That's great. And we continue onwards in the next episode, probably with Cold War era then. Stay tuned.